Hello, everybody. As if divorce wasn't hard enough, now the state of North Carolina, I'm not sure if it's in any other states. At first, I wasn't sure whether it was just a law in general or in the state of North Carolina, but I believe it's just in the state of North Carolina, wants to make getting a divorce tougher. What they want to do is, instead of waiting 1 year for your divorce to become final, they want you to wait 2 years. Well, okay, so that's not that big of a deal. You know, you can certainly wait 2 years, unless the reason you're divorcing one person is to marry another. But during this 2 years, they want it to be mandatory that if you have children, that you have to take a parenting class that discusses what divorce does to a child. I think that's unnecessary because if you're an adult, you already know what divorce does to a child. You know, but sometimes divorce would be better for the child than having the two parents that bicker all the time being together. They also want it to be mandatory that you take marriage counseling classes together. Now, who's going to pay for this? Number one. Not only are you going through a divorce, but you got to pay for all this too. And what if you were divorcing a spouse that is abusive to you? You have to go to counseling with this person who's abusive to you. You've got to sit there and be grilled about what's wrong in your relationship and why do you feel this way and do you think you can work it out? No. What if you have a spouse that has cheated on you? You still are going to be made to go to marriage counseling with this person to see if you can work it out. And again, I say, who's paying for this? If people really want to get a divorce, they don't need to go through any of these things to be counseled. They don't. You're going to have a lot more people that's offing their spouses just so they can hurry up and get out of this relationship. You're going to have more people, if they are in an abusive relationship, to kill the other person, saying, you know, feeling that they really have no other option. They don't want to stay married to the person. They don't want to go to counseling with this person. They don't want to take parenting classes with this person. They just want out. And so I guess sometimes that they might feel like their only option is to do whatever they must do. Instead of making divorce so much harder, you know, people divorce for a reason. And the majority of the time, it is infidelity or domestic abuse. But instead of making divorce harder to obtain, why not make marriage harder to obtain? Why not why not say you can't get married for 1 year after the date you get your marriage license? You know, you have to get your marriage license a year ahead of time. This gives you a whole nother year after you decide to get married. It gives you a whole nother year to be with that person, to maybe even plan the wedding, to get to know each other, if you will. So then you can decide during that year's time if this is going to be right for you. Why not, before you get married, maybe make it mandatory that you take one course of marriage counseling? And I'm not saying go to a marriage counselor, you know, maybe do it online or whatever, you know. Something that's not going to take away from your time. But why not make marriage harder to obtain than to make divorce harder to get? Because nobody wants to be still saddled with the one that they cannot wait to get away from. And there is no amount of counseling that's going to change that. And until next time, bye-bye.